I'm going to be sharing a little bit about what I learned doing my first ever triathlon and actually winning that triathlon. Just over a month ago, I decided I was going to sign up for a local triathlon. It wasn't a half triathlon, it wasn't even a quarter triathlon. It was more of a mini triathlon, but for my skill level was still something that was going to be difficult for me to achieve. It was something I'd never done before. And so I'm proud to say that I did come out on top with first place. It kind of looks like they bought this medal from a dollar store. I just wanted to get on here and share some of the lessons I learned from doing this in hopes that that kind of gives you guys some insight into things that you're going to try on your own to better yourself that are difficult for you. I pretty much had 1 month to train. Before starting to train for this triathlon, previously my training regimen looked more like a bodybuilding kind of strength training style of regimen. I was lifting about 5 times per week, kind of switching it up between hypertrophy and strength training. My cardio looked more like just sitting on the bike machine for 30 minutes at a time, a few times a week, just to keep my body fat percentage levels down. And so I wasn't really training for any intensive kind of cardio where you're going to be doing something for an extended period of time. So this was definitely a change of pace for me, which is why I found it so difficult to do this kind of thing and to have trained for it for so long and then to come out on top as well. I'm breaking this video down by my observations about what happened in my training race day, and then as I was thinking about it after, some lessons that I think I've learned from those observations, and then what I'm going to do to move forward. The biggest observations I've made through the whole process were an influx in fatigue, mainly during the weeks leading up to the triathlon. Very poor recovery. I didn't really focus on recovery at all like I should have. I didn't really do much better between my first timed trial 5 weeks before the triathlon and the day of the triathlon. I think I decreased by like 8 minutes total. So that was kind of strange. I think the combination of poor recovery leading to fatigue kind of leading to my training sessions didn't really equate to me doing that much better, and a lack of direction on how I should do my training. Like I said, I was just kind of making it up by myself, throwing in one of the 3 parts of the triathlon as just cardio. I had a lack of direction. I didn't really know how to structure my training sessions to be effective. So over the last few days, as I've had time to think about it, the lessons I've learned from these observations is that I didn't take the time to really think about how I should prepare. Even though I won, I think that I could have won feeling better physically, and I could have not had to take a whole week off leading up to that if I had really sat down and thought about what it was I was doing. Really sat down and thought about my training schedule, really sat down and thought about how I was going to prioritize recovery, how nutrition played into this. I didn't really take any of that seriously. I kind of just did this thing I always do where I'm just like, you know, I'll make it through, I'll pull through and it'll be fine. And I think that was the lesson learned for me from this triathlon, was that if you actually want to be successful in the endeavor you're trying to make, if you actually want to see real progress and you want to see it quantifiable and stacking up exponentially, really need to deliberately sit down and think about the best way to attack this. I was kind of just taking this as like a given that I would be okay, and it ended up being okay and I won, but it was really eye-opening to see all of the bad habits after the fact that I think played a role in the fact that I didn't really do much better than I was already capable of. What I'm telling you is that I think the lesson I learned is if you don't have a plan, you're kind of planning to fail. That's sort of a cliche term, but I think it was super applicable to what I experienced leading up to this triathlon. The biggest thing that's going to change how I move forward is I am now in this next phase of training for me. I'm actually going to sit down and figure out by the detail what it looks like for me to be successful and what it looks like for me to train in a way that will actually get me to my goal. So that way I can move forward with clarity this time. I'm going to actually deliberately give as much as I can while still making sure that I'm recovering well, because I think that the time I take to recover, though it might take away from the said 100% tank of energy I could otherwise give, I'll be better off with what's left in that tank after resting than I would giving 100% for half the time and then only 50% the rest. It might be okay for a short amount of time to kind of just throw some amount of effort at the thing you want to get done. But if you really want to see the thing that you tell yourself it is you want to see change, you actually need to be deliberate. You actually need to sit down and think about just this one thing Get off your phone, get away from any distractions, sit down, think about what it is you want to achieve and what you know will get you there. Come up with a way forward and actually stick to that consistently, and I think you'd be better off. That's the lesson I learned. I hope that is somewhat of help to you guys. I know that this is usually my videos where I'm just talking to a camera don't do that well, but I don't really care, because for the sake of my YouTube channel right now, I just want to get my message out to you guys that I care for your development. And I'm just trying to share what it is I'm learning along the way, so that hopefully somebody out there can also see this and see how this might be a parallel to their own life. Start to make some concrete, solid plans, stick to them, and then actually see real results instead of just kind of throwing some amount of effort and hoping they come. Yeah, I'm excited to have won my first triathlon. It's not a big competition. There was only like 8 to 10 dudes. But to me, that meant something. It meant something to have trained for a month and a half for something that's outside of my normal scope of ability, prove to myself that I can do those things and succeed. So I think there's probably gonna be some more of that to come. But for now, I just want to share my thoughts with you guys about what I learned. Hope that was helpful. I appreciate you guys' time, and we'll see you guys next week.